Now for my next item I have a, does it have a brand? Did we find a brand? Oh that's right, it's a Clarion. I've still got a cassette in it. That's going to be in good condition. It's got filth all over it, rust all over it. I don't hold out a lot of hope on this one, but I guess at least it's got the front panel and one of the knobs. Better than most of them. I might have to take this outside I think to take this off because it's got a lot of dirt down in there. There's some filthy stuff. Look at this, it may well be part of a particular car. Don't think this is a factory. That does fit it rather well. I'm not sure what I got here, or someone cut that out. Now it seems to be moulded. Unless this was actually a factory fitted unit, but this bracket looks like it's out of some particular car. I think we might have to get rid of that. Technically I can probably work on it without, then again it's not, I don't think the top's going to come off with that on there. So what is this, a PU773 I think is the model, so it's actually got a model number on it. That's a nice change. Ah, that's rusted too. Ah, I don't think that's coming off. Shifter on it. It's just chewing out I think. A socket might be better because it grabs all faces of the nut at once. Maybe I can use a ratchet drill as well. That's better. At least that grips up all the faces at once. Otherwise I'm just going to chew them. There's some serious rust. And it's held on by the front bolts as well, or nuts on the controls. But that is some serious rust on this thing, so I don't think she's going to be real good. Well, at least it's fairly clean under that bit. Quite a bit of thick rust here though. God. Why am I looking at this thing? It really should just be tossed in the scrap metal and recycled, I think. But it's always interesting to look at these things. More so than one that's in mint condition in some ways. Someone would have a stash of these somewhere probably. Still in good condition. Is it just two screws? I'm going to do it over the bin again because there's going to be filth going everywhere I think. Prise it off. Ah, God, yeah, now this thing I think is going to be pretty knackered. Oh yeah, there was, that's right, there was a card in here, wasn't there? It literally is someone's a card. An appointment with Sarah. Eric's Hair Artistry. Upper level cat and fiddle arcade. So I wonder why someone's put that in there. Some sort of insulation. God, the motor looks absolutely rusted to oblivion. Yeah, that is one grotty thing, but admittedly when you bang all the stuff out of it, it's not as bad as I was expecting. It's probably has hope of going again. I assume the tape's jammed in there, but I don't know. Let's see, I assume we press both. Or did someone just leave it in there and didn't even realise it was in there? Probably. The door, that's right, the door was a bit mangled, but it's probably not able to push the tape out because it's all rusted up. And it's got a bit of that card wrapped around the tape, I think. What's stopping it? Is it the door? Probably is the door. Door is pretty bent. Come on, door, out of the way. And I don't think it's lifted up properly. Yeah, definitely the mech is not in the right spot. So is it still? I think it's still on the reels a bit as well. This mech doesn't want to stay up. There we go. Yeah, that bit should push it out, but we're crashing into the front a bit here. It's rather twisted, I think. Come on. Getting all the bits in place at the same time is the problem. So we're only 2 screwdrivers, one under the front, one to push it. Now we're getting somewhere, and it doesn't help there's a bit of card there, but something's still catching it. George Jones. A good year for the Roses. Not looking in the greatest quality. I think we've actually had to see part of it's rotted out or broken or something, but and it's stuck to the felt pad there. Oh, besides the breaking it, it's probably playable. No idea who George Jones is. 1993. ELAP Music. Oh well, we got the cassette out. This probably wasn't too bad a unit in its day, but it's not exactly one of the higher end ones. This is actually, I think it's auto reverse because we've got the little twin. Oh yeah, that's the direction change, I think. So it is auto reverse. We've got Magic Tune. I wonder which one is the tuning. That feels like on off. Tone, I guess. Oh, here we go. We got. Oh, look, what have we got here? We've got some sort of mechanical arrangement, which doesn't seem to be turning fully at the moment. A pot, which may be some unrelated thing, and a what looks like an electronic tuner. No idea. I don't think I've really seen one like this before. So that could be interesting. This one should be a lot easier to work out. And go look at the wiring. Looks like either a rat's eaten it or it's more likely been scraped, dragged across something. It's what a mess. Well, fuse I guess is our power. The black was our negative probably. Green and grey are our 2 channels. And there's another grey, might be some sort of battery backup or something. Is that even in here? We've got speakers, black wire, blue wire. I don't see a grey wire. There is a grey wire there. No. Don't know. Well, soon find out if the black is ground, I guess. Since it doesn't have a digital tuner, it may be all we got. Yeah, it's probably just ground and power. I don't know what sort of car that's out of, so I don't really care. This thing's not going to go again. Let's see if it at least fires up now. I better make sure. I think I'll just cut all this harness off because it's all chewed up and destroyed. Chuck that in the bin. And let's see if this thing does anything. I'll just try it with without the speakers first. Where's my other lead gone? Oh, tingle from all these radios. Get all that out of the way. Turn it on, loads off. Loads on. Ooh. Can you believe that motor's doing something? Sounds like it's actually running part of the mech. So it thinks it's in some sort of half loaded mode, I guess. We're pressing the switch in or something. Can we... Doesn't want to stay up, does it? Ooh, now we've gone quiet. Is that because I broke something? Oh, the motor's shut up, so maybe I've got it out of that mode. I thought we had a light on the front before. Metal loudness, I think. Nothing. Yeah, it's pulling a little bit of current, so I guess it's time to hook up some speakers. Guess I should really check them first, but I don't think I've ever had a car stereo. Usually it'll just blow the fuse or something, I think, before it'll blow a speaker, but oh well, I've got fuses on them. Ooh. I was expecting a click out of the speakers, didn't get that, but there is actually some sound. Out of one channel anyway. Ah. One of these balance. That's tone, I think. I don't think the tuner is actually turning anything. Ooh. Yeah, we changed bands. Ooh, got stereo light up. Not sure this amp's too good. Doesn't seem real promising. It's probably still tuned to the last channel it was listened on. Sounds very distorted and horrible. Where's the amp chip in this thing? Is it getting hot? We're not pulling much current, so that's a good sign. The other channel seems to have disappeared.
All this week here on Triple J, that was the title track. Psychedelic filter, that one.
Yeah, that channel's died. Although that could be these crappy connections.
Check it out. Look forward to if you're going. Those two guys are great. 100 highlights right back.
Pot may need a clean, no doubt. Just a little bit.
That's pretty high up right now. Loving this one's sick at the moment. Dua Lipa, Houdini here on Triple J.
Well, not much exciting happening, but amazingly the radio still sort of works. You can't kill this old stuff sometimes, you wouldn't think it would do anything. Still even tuned to the station. So they must have been a Triple J listener, I guess. Because we seem to have lost whatever connection. All the things just seized up, not sure it's... Front knob doesn't seem to work on it anymore. Can I get this thing loose? Oh god, yeah, corroded to... God, are these wires soldered to it? What are they done here? I guess that's the point of that little loop, is you can undo it. And move this thing a bit. Maybe. That connector can come out, I guess. I just want to give it a quick clean. I guess I can get to it now, sort of, through the side. Oh, there's holes in the top of it. Let's just give that a good squirt. Not sure why it's got so many different pot bands there, but it's got a few of them. I mean, you've got two stereo pots, I guess, and one or two more for tone or whatever it is, but still. I think we've got more than that in that. It's got many, maybe it's a 4 channel. Well, it's not 4 channel because we haven't got 4 speaker outputs. Dunno. That's a bit weird. Yeah, if it was like a fader and all that, you'd expect a lot of pots there, but it's got a lot of gangs in it for I'm not sure what reason. But yeah, not a cheap thing to buy back in the day if you had to get one of those. tone, at least we can tell that now.
You're listening to
Doesn't turn that far, that pot. So maybe it's not very loud because it doesn't go far, I don't know. That's not loud. Oh, we can't tune, can we? It's got a little tuning trimmer or antenna trimmer on that you can access through the front on this one as well. So they've all got it.
John Bailey, who is trying to bottom of some of these sort of the deaths involved in these racist attacks, and suddenly he has ASIO railings at his office, in his phone, and everything. Violence culture that we're living in.
Oh, I'm out, that's why. What is that? So that pulls out and does something. Oh, maybe it does have a fader. Oh, that's better. Or it's balance or something. Oh, I didn't realise. So it's a three-way pot, that one. That's why it's got so many gangs on it, because we've actually got a hidden pull function. What does it say? On-off, volume, pull, balance, and tone. Okay, so it's actually written on that front bit. So that's the balance.
This is the fifth in the John Bailey series. We've only started in 20, and it's the same thing.
So that left channel, I assume it's left, is not working. Let's find out which one it is, I guess. I think the sound of it, this one's the one that's going. Yeah. So the grey's working. Get in there. Yeah, so the other channel sounded like it had something before, but now it's gone. Let's just check. I assume we've got speakers across here. So there's a couple of green wires that go who knows where. I don't really want to pull all this all to bits, but where's the amp in this thing? It should be. Oh, yeah, I can see it down in there, I think. Oh, yeah, oh, God. No wonder it doesn't work. It's this corroded up bunch of stuff here. At least I think that's it. It's got to be, I think, because yeah, I can see a little bit of white paste there. The heat, yeah, well, there's two screws underneath. That's a dead giveaway. That's your amp chip. Question is whether it's the amp chip or what that's actually faulty. So our wire's solder on here somewhere. Maybe I should just, let's give it a bit of a clean up. Any dry joints on that? I don't think so, but you never know. Yeah, they're starting to crack in a couple of places, but yeah, they're definitely starting to go. Might be worth resoldering them. Don't think any of them's disconnected though. Meth over evaporates. Come on, Metho, go away. It's not that cold today. But again, because the chip's on the main chassis and you've got the circuit board soldered to it, they tend to flex, or the heat cycles, something causes them to get dry joints. Probably won't make an ounce of difference, but got to try that. At least we know it's not bad. Oh God, what the funk. Probably should use a terminal block or something on these, I guess would be a better way of doing it. I was only just going to temporarily hook it up and have a quick look at it, but since I don't know that the tape deck's got much hope of going again, but you never know, we might get some, we probably can force it in and get some sound out of it. Still only one channel. inject some hum into it through the volume control. Where are all the little bits of the volume? Ah, here we go. Nothing, that might be the other channel there. So it's around the amp section, I think. Yeah, so I've got the cable tie out of the way. It looks like all the speaker wires come into this multicoloured ribbon cable here, or rainbow cable, and they come over here. So that makes me think this is a fader, and it's got white ceramic on the pot. So this is actually a dual channel fader here. So it's possible it's just a fader setting. What does it say on there? Tuning and fader. Well, the fader should either go front and rear, but not unless these speakers are to ground or something weird. Well, you never know, do you? Have we just got 2 channels, or have we got 4 channels coming out of this thing? Well, I guess one thing I can do is trace the green wire back. What a lot of messing around. Maybe I should, let's unplug the speaker. That'll get rid of any impedance there joining the two together. Nothing. Ah, there. So that's one of the greens. They're still saying they're joined. Well, they must be joined to more than just that. Oh, here we go. The amp should go into these center ones, I think, and then you should have 2 outs either way. The other side, it should be connected to these, but it's not. What the? Well, fair enough, it's connected to all of them. Well, the funny thing is the green was the green connected to all of them? Yep. I'm still not actually sure, but what at the other side? Of the grey, it's not connected to any of them. It's not connected to chassis. Oh, wait up, maybe it is. No. What am I reading here? It is chassis. What on earth? Yeah, I'm unplugged. I've got no idea. Oh, maybe that's the problem. Which one was working? I can't remember. The greys were the ones working, I think. That's connected to chassis. Well, that might be the problem with the green then. And the rest of it's hooked to the fader. Green one is connected to the other side, which it should be, and to the other side. Uh-oh, what? So does that mean the green channel I'm just running off? I think I've got these hooked up wrong somehow. So my bet is, I'll put that discount, let's go to ohms. Assuming this is one side of the pot, 100 ohms, 0 ohms. So that one's hooked to that side of the fader. I'm guessing the other one is hooked to the other side of the fader. Yeah, 0 ohms. 100 ohms to the middle. So they've got to be channels. Front and rear. This one, the grey red is connected to, say, rear. I assume the green red is also connected to that. Yeah, so they're together. The other one strangely seems to be connected to ground. That can't be right. there should be a grey. Oh, is that what that missing grey wire is? No, I don't know. Well, it's not coming out of the unit. Okay, so I think we've got this hooked up. The green should be front and rear. So maybe a reference to ground. That means I can't see what's connected to what. Well, these ones are the orange and red wire, I think. And orange, red is the middle. Red is the channel, it's a yellow. Orange, red, yellow. Orange, yellow, where's the red go? Up there somewhere. Well, that would be the output of the amp, which is right, because I said the red would be the output of the amp, which goes across here to, is that big cap? No, it's the one diagonally near it, I think. Which I can't see what that is. It's not that resistor, is it? And the center one on the other side is the, I think, grey. Is there a grey? There ain't a grey. Brown then. Brown wire is here, and yeah, that heads off to the amp as well. Oh yeah, to that capacitor. Oh, the other one goes through a link, I reckon. So that's a channel. We've got a channel there. Where did I say the red was? The one next to it, I think it's those two. Red comes in. Oh, is that a cap there? Oh, it's a cap there, that's what it is. So this cap here, and this cap here are our channel outputs. So then the green, red, brown, red, they should do basically. And I guess the black wire is a ground. So what's the other green then? That's probably, I wonder if the other green's just, you can pretty much guarantee the other green is just a lighting or something. So they fooled me with this one, I think. Well, that's my guess anyway, so we need to twist. It'll either work or we'll blow the damn amp chip. But I don't think that's going to be the problem or the outcome. Probably more likely to have blown it with the way I already wired it up. Yeah, I could have sworn I had two channels when I first fired it up, but like one weak and one strong, but maybe that was some audio illusion. Ooh, nothing. Even though we do, oh, some idiot unplugged the speakers, didn't they? Still just one channel, I think. Now I can't turn this. Now it's my shitty RCA connector. I must fix that damn thing. How do we do? There's balance. Two channels, so yeah, that one got me. I do need to work out how to get this tuning to work again.
Baby, I hope that's gonna make you notice.
Actually got a good sounding unit. Oh, that part works. Now can we get the cassette player to go? I reckon we probably can to some degree. Is it going to drop though? Doesn't look like it. Well, we got the, let's get the motor going. So is this thing just seized up or what? All these slide bars seem to be a bit stuck. Can't get that to come back. Yeah, they're very sticky. Can we get the mech to drop? No. Probably the pivot there is probably completely shot. I can't believe the motor still turns. I don't think it's turning anything though. It's not going to have a good build in it. Well, we've got the radio guards. This would make a perfectly good car radio if you really wanted one. Where is the actual tuning dial? Oh, there's a little thing in there, I think. Got a broken button, of course. Oh yeah, it does move. You can barely see it. It's either faded or I don't know. But we'll have a quick look. I think you've normally got to take the front off to get these cassettes out. So it should sort of pull out from the back, but you do have the complication of all the buttons sticking out the front here. It's only 2 screws, is it? And a couple of clips, I guess. Oh, more than a couple of clips each end. Oh, maybe that one doesn't even matter. No, bottom ones don't do anything, I don't think. Yeah, so we've got like direction LEDs, which may also be something to do with the tuning. Couple of lights, so that's probably what that green wire is. And a couple of LEDs for stereo and APC. Wow, look at the muck in it. Now this could be a tension mechanism in this thing. You wouldn't know. There's bits of paper wrapped around. What the? Don't know why that business card was in there, but now I should be able to get this tape deck out. Looks like there's 2 screws here and maybe a third one. Oh yeah, they're hidden there, and they're actually not rusted. So if nothing else, I'm gonna get a few nice screws out of this one to tidy out one of the other ones. Hopefully we don't have to get the board loose, circuit boards loose or anything, but we'll see. You never know with these things. That should have the deck loose, but it doesn't feel loose. That still feels solid as. Oh, maybe we're going to take that other screw out. I did see that there, but I thought, no, that might be the tape deck, but of course it is. Now, often they would lift up out from this sort of position, but the problem is the wiring. So we've got wiring here for the heads, wiring for probably the motor or something here. We've got a switch. This does not look like it's going to be easy. Surely they gave us some length here. I think the backboard is going to have to come out of this one. What have we got down under there? There's something else screwed to the bottom of this thing. Ah, that's the button assembly that runs this tuner. My god, I can see the ferrite bits over here. What the? That's a bit of a weird setup. No, I think Mr. Amplifier is going to have to come loose. Oh. So that means we're going to get heatsink paste everywhere probably. That's why I don't like undoing them unless I absolutely have to. Maybe we should undo that while we're at it. No, I think that tuner goes elsewhere. Now it goes elsewhere while we've got it. So there's our amplifier chip. Yeah, there's all sorts of mechanical, although that is connected to that, so maybe I thought that would go into the tuner, but it doesn't, of course. The antenna wire goes straight into the amp board. And yeah, when I say amp board, it's probably, it does all sorts of stuff knowing these things, and we may have to bring some of the controls with us. We might have to gut the whole thing, who knows, because this is not going very far. Go away, tuner. I might unsolder that. Can I? If we mark that, it's like the second one up that's actually connected to anything. which is the orange wire, because that's just going to break off anyway. I think we need to undo the tuner assembly, but then if we've got this button assembly, how on earth does that all come? There's a screw there. Yeah, this is a bit of a weird one, I must say. How's this other board attached? Because we loosen the control off. Well, that I guess unplugs, doesn't it? So that's something, but does it help us? Marginally. But we've still got all the tuner stuff. So can we separate the tuner? Yeah, this is not a fun one to work on. I don't think pressing the buttons in is going to help us get it out, is it? Sometimes you've got to do weird things like that. And we got wires going to this control. Nice job, people. The other option is unsolder this whole upper board, I guess. Oh, where's the screw that holds the tuner in? Can we even get to that? I don't think you can get to it with the deck in place. This deck goes in further than I think. Oh, yeah, it does. I think we're going to have to gut it. Whoops, don't do that. Oh, this tuner bit's already... Oh, it's already loose. What the... Oh, now that I've undone that. Oh, so yeah, that's what we do then. But then we've got this circuit board up the front. Oh, dude. So we're going to have to probably unsolder from the top pin of the little trimmer, antenna trimmer cap. Yeah, they're definitely a bit of a difficult one. This one, I think we're going to have to take our fader control / tuning control. We've got to look at why the tuner doesn't work anyway, or why the clutch is slipping permanently, if it is even a clutch, something like that. And yeah, 1 hour later, you might actually get a look at something. Why they need the shafts this long, I'll never know. Must have been some difficult to mount in cars, but this looks like it's been made for a specifically deep model or something. I guess you shouldn't need that much. Yeah, now we're something's fallen out of here to do with the meshing of the controls, the tuning parts, and now we've still got wiring. Why is it? Because some idiots put a tie on it. I was going to say, why is that attached to my fader? A little twist tie there. That's better. I was going to say, that can't be that difficult. So I actually didn't need to undo the fader because it disconnected itself. I thought there was some wiring there that was in the way, but it's more to do with this. Yes, this is horrible. Imagine having to do all this just to change a belt in a cassette player. That's why I used to send audio gear to other people usually. To the specialists. Because I knew better than working on this stuff. And even if we don't do something wrong here, the wires are probably we're gonna end up with a broken wire falling off something somewhere if we're not careful. Can I get this silly display piece through the front? Looks like we can. This is a joke. And then we've got a cassette. Where is this silly cassette? There's a cassette switch. Looks like it goes to the front panel of all places. So I have to get the wiring out from under this little tab that holds it. Yeah, this is pretty crazy, this one. I think it's one of the worst ones I've ever worked on. I thought a Clarion it'd be alright, but... So there's our tuning bit. And And we still can't see any part of the mech really. Oh yeah, there's the end of the belt, definitely broken. Not sure I really want to try and get this thing going now, but we've come this far. Yeah, this is a lot more difficult than the usual cassette player. The later ones just have a circuit board on the bottom, and you usually can just undo the mech and pull it out easy as anything. Probably because people got sick of trying to repair these sort of things. And we've still got a heap of metal plates in the way. Let's hope this hasn't gone real gooey. I think it's just broken, which is good. Yeah, it just fractures when you grab it. But that's going to go right up around here somewhere. Oh yeah. Some mud daub or wasp or whatever pot of wasp has been in here by the look of it. I think that was a bit of clay stuff. Certainly looks like it on there. Luckily the belt's going through it, so that should rip most of it off. Don't think that capstan's very well lubricated. What a surprise. But fairly impressive for what it is, I guess. But this is, I don't know if this deck's really worth doing, because it's going to need everything lubricating on it, because it's just a bundle of rust basically. This is going to be the little idler assembly stuff under here, I guess, but I can just see corrosion on everything. That lever there feels all gritty. I mean, you can hear it pretty much. Everything's full of grit and stuff. I think this might be a bit beyond it. Probably still some useful parts in it if someone had a similar one. Yeah, there's our little auto reverse mechanism. By the look of it, we've got a rotary gear here that has a couple of blank spots in it. You can see something here to do with the reels. That would be to do with them. See, oh, that's probably going to need lubing. They don't feel real good, because otherwise the auto reverse is probably going to keep flicking or something. It's in surprisingly good condition, this piece. I wasn't expecting much from it. It's not that corroded considering. There's a few patches. There's a lump of dead something there. So that belt obviously went round this pulley to get something, but look at the rust. I mean, the problem is all these lumps of rust everywhere. Does that capstan just pull out? Probably does. So it's easy enough to look. It's got black stuff all over it. Easy enough to lubricate. Hopefully there wasn't a washer on the other side. I don't think there usually is in these. Oh, that's tight as. Look, just muck everywhere. I mean, I could probably get sand out of this again, but not the proper way. I think the easiest way would be to pull some tape past the heads or something manually, since the tape's already broken. That's some very dried up grease. Oh, we've lost the washer already. They love to flick off those little things. Yeah, these bushings need to clean out. But even just getting rid of the old grease might be enough to get that. Yeah, it's already better. Sometimes, like I say, you just put a bit. Oh, yeah, there's black stuff coming off. Put a bit of metho down the hole. Poke your thing in and out a few times. Capstan in this case, and clean it off. And that'll get rid of most of that. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. It's like, yeah, the factory brand new. That'll get rid of most of that horrible grease. And that'll be enough, like, yeah, if you're not servicing it properly. amazing the difference that makes. Look at that. Japanese engineering for you. It's so good it doesn't even need grease. It actually goes better without the old grease. But see, what worries me is all these lumps, and then there's little plates that are meant to move. That's the one that's crunchy. And it's got rust staining all over it. Oh God. But surprising what a bit of a quick clean-up will do. Listen to it. Ugh. See, if I take this bit off and clean that up, that'll probably fix half of that. I think all the rust is under there. How's it attached to here though? Does it just lift up? It doesn't feel like it does. And there's a pin, another pin here, so maybe it's not that simple to get out. Well, I wouldn't have a clip there if it couldn't lift out, surely. I think that's somehow attached. Just getting rid of some of that crud, rusty muck. Should improve it a bit. Amazingly, that does feel quite a bit better. It's nowhere near as crunchy as it was. And rather than waste any good grease on there, I think I'll just put a bit of wheel bearing grease. It's probably good enough for this job. It's probably a little bit gooier than I would like, but I think I'll just put a bit on. And I've seen cassette players with this sort of stuff, you know, that is a bit too viscous. But for now, and there's a bit too much of it as well, of course. But this mech is never gonna be used for anything serious again. Probably get a bit on my finger and just smear it, might do. And a bit round. No, I don't want to get on the capstan. Around this bit where the clip goes. That's probably enough to get that sort of functional, semi-functional, good enough. Well, that actually springs back now, which is more than it did before. Maybe a bit on this bit. Again, like I say, I would never recommend putting grease or oil or anything all over a mechanism, because you'll probably do more harm than good. But in this sort of situation, there's nothing to lose. It really wants it on every bit, every face, because this is just a rust bucket of a thing, and it's got grit and grime, and that is certainly better than it was. So it could almost be worth putting a belt in this, assuming I can get this piece back. Why is that kind of engaged? I kind of know. Oh, this is the piece here. This, yeah, that's a little stiff as well. That's what this thing must slide side to side. Our direction changer. It's not that bad though. I think that'll. It's got a hair in there. Oh yeah, that hair's wrapped around stuff too. Oh yeah, that would have been an issue probably back in the day. Hairs can cause some issues. And they get tangled up in your gears. Okay, I think we'll just chuck that back in there and hope for the best. So what's this other lever bit here? Probably should make it short. Is that something to do with the heads? Oh, we got one of our levers starting to fall out there. That's not a good sign. How does this work? And is it jammed? I'd say something's jammed here though. That's going to be an issue. Or is that because the mechanism isn't loaded? See, this is the hassle you have. But that one went round that way, did it? Oh, so that's to do with this bit. That mounts like that. Ah, so what does this do? Does that push on one of these pins? Or has that got nothing to do with what I'm playing with at the moment? Or is it something to do with this pin? Who knows? And this is the problem, just getting this thing back together. I reckon that, does that pin go into there? This is where it gets nasty because you don't know where all the little pins sit. Oh no, they go right over here somewhere. So they definitely don't go through that. There is a pin here that may... I reckon that bit is meant to go. Although if it goes right around, it might. That line's... yeah, that's meant to go in the slot on that gear, I think. On this one, not gear, on this plate. The other ones go up in there somewhere. Oh, that one goes on the outside. That goes in that hole. And that bit goes up in the little hole in the silver plate, I think. And we're not dropping in properly though. Oh yeah, I think we're getting there now. So that's why that wouldn't move before, because it's locked into that gear. So probably the motor, when it turns that gear, then the gear slides that metal plate, which slides this bit. That would be how she works. But it's not going back in properly. Something right in this front bit. So does it go in that hole? Maybe it doesn't. Well, it must do. That's in the hole. So it's not that. Why won't it go back together properly? This is why I don't pull things apart. So, is it these little pins? Don't tell me you've got it. Yeah, I think it's those little. So we're not only we've got to get this thing centered, I think, then get the gear to match it, which it kind of does. But we need to come a little bit further that way. Now this is probably one of the most complicated ones I've ever looked at. And that's not saying a lot since I tried to avoid them wherever I could. Well, they don't. One goes through the hole. Oh, unless they're in completely wrong spots. Ah, you little sons. Yeah, that's it. It's these things have to be swung. Bloody hell, that's a lot of alignment. Okay, we need to get our... is our gear going in its slot? I think it is. We've got to get this pin lined up, then we've got to bring these in. Yeah, I can feel something drop as soon as I do that. Yeah, there we go. God almighty. Have we stuffed it up? I think we have. As soon as you move, it falls out. Okay, so that's a pretty major... a lot of messing around. Like I say, it's going to be one of the most complicated mechs ever. You've always got to line something up, and that's what I say about not working on these things, because there were too many different mechs, too much to learn every time, and people didn't want to spend any money on them anyway half the time, so not really a viable business proposition. Maybe if you've got all the manuals and stuff, or you've got a shop that, you know, you want to sell them new ones, which I guess is why some places specialise that sold audio, hi-fi gear and did repairs, because they probably try to sell them a new one half the time, and I wouldn't blame them when they're built like this. But again, like I say, once you've seen a few of these mechs, you probably knew them inside out and it was no problem. It's like VCR mechs, but not as common. VCRs, you saw the same mech all the time. In a big city, you probably could have seen these sort of mechs all the time as well. But in a little city, no, just not worth it. Well, I might be crazy enough to put a belt in this thing. Now that I've got grease everywhere, so it must just go round, round, just past that thing, I guess. Is it just a bit of friction there? Well, I guess we'll find out. Now that is a very long belt. And I probably won't have any in stock. Let's see what 127 is like. Ooh, might be too long. And again, it might be close. Definitely, that doesn't touch that little pulley. That's what I was afraid of. How does that work? Surely you'd have to get the belt. Well, can't do, because if it comes back, what am I missing? I can usually work them out, but that one's a bit of a weird one. This part ends easy enough. That's very standard in its setup, and then it should just go to there. That just, maybe it does just glance it a bit. That actually is the right length sort of belt. So now I'm confused as to whether, well, that I think is meant to turn all these gears. Well, it can't come, if you pull it across it's going to hit stuff, so it can't go around. Oh, I know what it is. There's a second belt. Oh my god, it's the first cassette player I think I've ever seen with two belts in it. Well, it's gotta be worth doing just for that. That belt is a little, have I got a slightly shorter one? A little long, I bet I haven't. 136, 105, yeah, no, so that size. It's probably one I used in the past, because I had some similar cassette player, 127, 115, no, I think. I'll be damned, it's got two belts. I don't think any of the eBay belts are this long either. That might just get by it. Huh. The bad news is I'm going to have to take this off again. You rotten little... Oh, at least I know how to do it now. I guess that's something. But first, before I do, I need to work out the belt length. That's where a eBay leftover belt should do the job, I think. I'm not sure if they're even that short, but yeah, I think they will. I can see some very short ones in there. That's pretty much it, I think. Is that a bit too long by the time it goes? I think that would be near perfect. It's an even small one. I don't want to go too... One of them, I think I'm just going to have to pull this to bits again. At least most of it's lined up now. I don't think I've ever seen a cassette player with two belts in it. I just realised there's a second bit to the pulley. And it's actually quite clean, that bit, so I won't worry about cleaning it. Yeah, wow. That is certainly a different one. Yeah, that's probably, could be a tad long, but that'll do. It's gripping nicely. Wow. You live and learn. Probably better off not knowing, but it's certainly something a bit different. would like to get this belt back out and save it, but the little one, that can stay in there, since it's only pretty much going in the bin anyway, because there's so many of them left over. But this is turning into quite a big job, not surprisingly. That shouldn't be on that side. Yeah, it's a little lumpy and horrible, but well, that's assuming the motor even, well, it was running. I guess I should have oiled that a bit. Shouldn't go assuming that the motor's any good, but it was running. I don't know how. Look at the rust on it. Now, we still don't know if the mech's even going to function in a half decent way. I wonder if I can run this thing in pieces. I think that I can, and I think I'm going to. Can we get the mech to drop yet? Still not dropping. One of these bits is going to be seized up where this pivots, I think. It's really seized up. That bit's just like kind of loose. This bit's where it pivots either end of this should drop down, assuming that it's let go of whatever it has to let go of. Doesn't look that bad. Something is stopping it though. Oh, there's a, what's this thing? There's a metal lever thing there. Is that something to do with, with the cassette? Should push on that, I think. Well there you go. Also, it's an actual, it's designed to stop it go in. Oh well, there you go. I forgot they had stuff like that. Much like a VCR or something, they have to make it difficult. So if we put a tape in, it's not dropping properly or perfectly, but that is in position. We don't have any heads, but that's because the heads will wind out. That's probably something to do with, can I make it? I don't know if the mech's engaged or what. I don't know what engages it, to be honest. Shouldn't there be a solenoid or something? Ooh, look at that. That is not good. Yeah, that's not turning, it's catching and... Oh, this could be the problem with too much. And this belt slips when it does, but this is only running the capstan, so that is not operating like it should. That belt's not tight enough, or things are too tight here. Come on. It's not really lifting properly. Oh, it is a rust bucket, so it's got some lump of something in there that shouldn't be in there. And this lever's, oh, it's just the knob, I think, going sideways. Dude. Yeah, no, it's still not functional. I knew this would be a lot of trouble. But the question is whether that we've got enough force to like slide this bit across, because it's all run by that little belt. There could be something else that's jammed here. That's plenty, well, I would call it plenty loose enough. Here's the belt just to... Well, I probably should have... I didn't even check this little pulley's actually any good, as in lubed. It's not great. And they are pretty flimsy little belts. Maybe I need a better, like a proper belt, a 1.2 little clip on there. I might just give that a quick lube. Let's just put a bit of this. Oh, I can steal some of here, I guess. A little bit of grease on there, maybe. Even that's not the best grease for this job. Still seems relatively tight. I wonder if it's actually scraping on the rust or something. I probably should have scraped that rust off, shouldn't I? It's awfully close to the mech, like super close. Yeah, I reckon that's what it is. There's a great big lump of crud here. That would be enough to scrape on it, I reckon. It's so close to the surface. Still doesn't feel great. Almost looks wrong. Almost looks like it needs another washer there. Don't think it's scraping though. Oh, what the hell just happened? I put the clip on, but it didn't clip. Good thing I checked, I guess. Must be staying spread open. It doesn't have a lot of friction, it just isn't as free as you'd hope. Oh, what do I got here? A thicker belt? Get on there. God, it will not go into the pulley. It'll go below, it'll go above. And I probably just got a bit of grease on it then, but that's a more solid belt. So that particular gear engages with what? This end one, I guess, this big one here. Now why is that making a funny noise? Oh, because this is probably in the wrong spot or something. There is a bit of friction there. And something dead. We'll see that, if I've got it in the right spot, may be engaged. Yeah, there's so many different things that can play up here. That should not be engaged when that's, oh, these are these little ones that are in that other piece. Okay, so they shouldn't be. Only one at a time will engage. Well, if that doesn't work, I think we might have to abandon it. But not sure. Can we see if that engages? Oh, yeah, we can see it from above. Got a pin there, another pin here, which I'm not quite sure. Oh, there's a piece comes across by the look of it. And it's possible something else isn't doing what it should. That's going in its hole. While we have the screw there, excellent. Now we've got to bring these in. Except I can't grab that one for some reason. Yeah, we're back in business. So at least I made it so you can see if that cam gear thing is engaged with a plate from the other side. But yeah, there could be a lot more trouble to this. I mean, one thing I didn't check is I assume that tape isn't like all moulded up and seized up. It's broken, so it should be easy to turn, but you've got to check things like that because they can seize up inside when they're in this sort of condition. You get a bunch of mould growing in there or something and that'll just turn into a solid lump and the reels won't turn. Oh, what on earth are you doing? This belt's getting all weird twists in it, I think. Come on. Go around there. Okay, not the world's best belt for that job. Something's turning. I can see there, that's moving, so that's a good sign. And we can at least try and turn this thing. Oh, let's get out of the carpet. I don't think it's engaging anything though. Whether it should yet, I don't know. I could be turning it the wrong way or anything, but the belt's not slipping at least this time. I can see this one's... We do have other bits and pieces, so... And the head isn't up, but that's because... Yeah, surely there should be a solenoid. Oh, there is a... Is there a solenoid there? What is that? Ah, yeah, there is one here somewhere, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there's the coil. Where's the lever go? Oh, here. But whether it's engaging anything, it sure doesn't look like it is. That should, when it comes in, should let something... That's the problem, it should let something move, but I bet this is all seized up. Oh god, yeah. Oh, look at the pinch roller, what the... Oh dear. I should have checked that, shouldn't I? Yeah, that's the bit that the head's on. Oh yeah, that's the side plate. But man, I just seen what the pinch rollers look like, or a pinch roller looks like, and that's going to be rusted solid. Well, we've got the heads engaged. Where's the other pinch roller? Down in there somewhere. Now come here. Yeah, that helps push it back out. So yeah, no, it's... Of course, I didn't give that a good visual inspection. I should have spotted that, but of course they're hidden right under everything. That is seized. I wonder if the other one's any good. Where is it? Down in there? No, it's seized. Damn. And getting those out is probably an absolute nightmare. Yeah, that's been a long time since I've tried to fix a pinch roller and something like this, and from memory it is a nightmare. Okay, so to show you need to check everything, but of course they're so well hidden. I wasn't expecting it to be perfect, but that is a major flaw. Looks like you can unscrew this bit. I see a screw. Oh well. If we're going to look at one of these things, I might as well look at what a nightmare they really are. At this rate, I might as well rebuild the whole mech. Looks like another screw there. But what does that undo? I can't see what it actually unscrews. There's a... Yeah, no, that's part of it, I think. I have to remove this head wiring and stuff. Oh god, yeah, this is bringing back a few memories of the bad old days here. This... Oh yeah, here we go. Ha! I think we can just lift this whole piece out. Yeah, this is... God, I'm working all over the circuit board, which isn't ideal. And how do we get this spring? I guess we just pull it off there, and it goes to near the motor there. Oh, don't come off now. I'm going to leave you there. Well, there you have it. Oops. Oh, that's the little tape stopper thing. If you don't have a cassette in there, it stops it going in. Oh wow, I have not pulled one apart this far in a very long time. But we might be able to just lube up, get rid of that dead insect or whatever it is. Half the time you knew how to do this to even clean one of these things. And the heads are absolutely disgusting, of course. Probably corroded and horrible. But yeah, I'm certainly not sad to see these car cassette players disappear off the market. Look at the filth on that. That hasn't been cleaned in its life probably. And yeah, this would be a good chance to be able... This is the slide plate for the head. And it's looser than it seemed before, which is a good sign. Might put a tiny bit of grease here and there just to make sure it moves freely, like around that little pin there. Even though I probably should see if I can fix these pinch rollers first. There's another pin here. little slot there. It's not as rusty as you'd think. A lot of rust is just on this base plate, which doesn't matter as much as I would have thought. Yeah, there's the slide plate that goes from the cam gear that was on that idler assembly thing that I was playing with before, so I can actually lube. There's a lot of rust on the underside of that, so we can probably make that even a bit easier to move, but that won't move because the cam gear's in the way at the moment anyway. And that pinch roller doesn't look so bad. That one's very rusty. We should be able to remove them. How do they sit on this? Ah, these are the I think they've got to circle it down low. Oh, what a horrible design that was. You've got a circle clip instead of on the top of the pin. It's down mixed in with a spring underneath. Yeah, so you just pop the little circle clip out of there, and then this thing, even though it's normally it would just slide straight off, but because we're rusted, yes, that does not. And there's a loose spring in there, so you've got to be careful not to lose that. That does not want to come off. God damn. There goes the spring, and of course, before I really noticed where it was, but it's got a long bit goes up on the pinch roller, and the short bit came back down underneath, under the little metal bracket there. Oh God, I didn't think it was going to come off for a second. And yeah, it's just rotted into the metal either side of it. I reckon hey, it's starting to come. Now that I'm forcing it, it's coming loose. I can't believe some of this stuff actually isn't completely destroyed. But it's like the rust on the metal is, we're going to knock the pin out, I think, to, not sure which way you should do it. I assume the pointy end, I just got some pin punches, but I don't think they're small enough for this. Problem with the being a pointy end is you can't get anything onto it easily. I need something flat like that. Can I? I don't think it's moving. Or do we need to go the other way? It's actually made things tighter though. Brilliant. Well, the other option, since we don't give a rat's about this thing too much, is just bend this apart. If I've got a slightly bigger, maybe that little stubby, I'm just gonna, it's more than one way to skin a cat, as they say. Oh yeah, that's more like it. It's not going to go on the post as well probably, but if we can prise this thing apart a bit, that'll probably have to do. No point wasting time on this. And it's lunchtime anyway, so I'm going to have a break. Can I prise in between the plastic and that? I don't think I really can, other than with a super fine screwdriver that's just going to break. It's actually, is it rubbing on that bit of metal? There's so much rust on this thing, it's just all the metal's grown in size. There's definitely a gap there, but it's still cruddy down the sides of this pinch roller. Probably doesn't matter if we put a bit of oil, as long as it doesn't get on the rubber part, but to the plastic bit. But yeah, it's, if I can scrape the crud out on the faces down the side of the roller itself, yeah, now you can actually see a bit of a gap there. There wasn't even a gap between the pinch roller and the metal before. That'll probably help things a lot. I'm actually going to put some oil in there and see if it can soak down in there a bit. Never recommended to do that on a pinch roller, but I mean, well, that alone's made quite a bit of difference. I might do the other side and just be damned. Since it's just rubbish anyway, then I'll just clean any oil that's got onto the pinch roller rubber. Oh, that, yeah, that's almost That's like new almost now. It's a little bit more friction, but that's usable. The tape player can run that. It's a little lumpy, might cause a bit of wow. Yeah, well, I'm shocked it actually came up so well. Let's just wipe the excess oil off, because if that gets on your tape it won't do it much good, and may cause it to chew even, because it'll stick to the oily pinch roller probably. I might even put a bit of grease on that bit just to make it easier to get it on there. And then I'm having a lunch break. So this sits, I guess, on that, and then flicks under, is that it? Well, we can look at the other one. Well, it's definitely in behind there somewhere, so I assume a little bit. Oh, it's up on the top there. Oh no, completely different to what I thought. So it's on the top side, up in there somewhere. What? That can't be right. Other way round. Oh, like so, yeah, and then, oh yeah, so it pushes on this metal pin there. Isn't that a bit close to the actual tyre? It's pretty close. I think that's how they've done it though, by the look of it. Yeah, it's sort of, that's the problem with all the messing around getting it off. I failed to keep an eye on the pin, on the spring. No, wait up, this still isn't right. Yeah, that's right, it is right. So it comes out, yeah, like so. Looking at one that's a mirror image doesn't really help either. Get on there. Can't be that hard. I mean, I've bent the bracket a bit, which doesn't help probably, but I think we're back in place. Yeah, that just butts flush with that, but we've got to get the fun part is we've got to get a circlip back on there. It's got to go in between the spring and the bracket. I think if I just shove it in there and try and squeeze and it doesn't shoot across the room, then we should be right. But there's not really much to squeeze on is the problem. It's going, I think. Believe it or not, I think it might actually be in there. That needs a bit of oil on it too. I think that's just solid as. There's no play at all on it. I mean, it'll move enough to do the job, I think, but well, it's held in place by the spring anyway, I think, so it probably doesn't matter that much, but wipe off the excess oil, because that'll be all over everything in a minute. Now it moves, it'll do. Then I'm going to do the other side. I wonder if I can just scrape that out in situ. Probably not. Okay, now what have we got? The second one. Second pinch roller. Well, I might as well take the spring off first, because we don't want tension there. And where's our circlip at? Pop that out the side. Oh, God, it had to fall down the bloody hole, didn't it? I was just going to leave it on the metal there. I'll put it back on the multimeter so I can find it again. Hopefully, this one comes out a lot easier at least. Isn't as rusty, but it's leaving the trail of rust behind. Get out of there. So again, yeah, it's actually got, it's been up against the capstan by the look of it, so it's Actually got a dent in it. Not uncommon when they've been in place for a long time like that. I'll just bend this out again. Probably should use some pliers really, but if you've got thick skin like me, at least it's turning again. And last time I just got the screwdriver in and scraped all this layer of stuff out of there. And we'll put a bit of oil in again, I guess, and hopefully that'll get it going. Oh, that one's, yeah, so much easier than the other side. It was rusted really bad. At least that goes on fairly easy. And we want our circlip. And again, we're going to try and squeeze it between the bracket and the spring on the bottom side. God, that bearing grease smells awful. That's it. Why can't they have nice smelling grease for a change? I guess someone would probably eat it then. Better that, it smells disgusting so no one eats it. And I've got to get the spring behind the little pin there. This one seems a bit harder for some reason. Come on. That rotates, that rotates. Yeah, I think we're pretty well there. Hopefully no wires are falling off or anything. Now we've lubricated the main plate here, haven't I? Oh, we're stuck in position now. Oh, I see, it springs into position. Oh, that's interesting. So its natural position is engaged, which makes a lot of sense. One more bit there, could do a little bit of lube, I think, while I'm at it. Put a bit of grease under that little bit there. Maybe a bit there. Yeah, I think that's quite a good mech. Is one pinch roller pushed up more than the other? Looks like it is. Ooh, why's my capstan falling out? Probably because I haven't put all the brackets back on the other side. That was not such a good idea. Oops. Now this is falling to bits. Now, I probably need to lube up this bit here where it goes on that pin. Definitely. Scrape some of the rust off and we'll put a heap of grease. Maybe not that much of a heap of grease, but a bit of grease around that pin and the end of this plate, because on both ends that's going to be a bit rusty and horrible. And this bit I think just sits, I'm not quite sure, there's another pin there which is probably off camera, but that's the problem with all this rubbish everywhere. And here we've got a pin on the other bit where the up down bit, the cassette holder thing pivots, so we'll lube that as well just so it goes a bit better there. And I guess the other bit is, how good are these buttons? I think we can get to most of them. Oh, there's an underside bit here. So that's on a pin, that's on a pin. They definitely want a bit of lube. You can see how slow that's moving, not to mention the amount of friction it is to press on. And a bit along there. A bit along this other pin. Just a bit underneath maybe. Which one is it? That one. Well, that's definitely better. And it goes straight back now. Looks like we've got a switch here for the motor or something. Probably wants a bit of lube on this front bit too. And that pushes the same piece, so that's good. So that lubing that has lubed both buttons, at least to some degree. Looks like it might have even had some grease down the side of this thing, so I'll just put grease all over it. Doesn't matter in this circumstance. That's on a spring thing, so that goes on that pivot point there. Oh, we've got a bit on the top here, of course. So that moves alright. That's pretty loose, I think we're alright. And we should really lube, I guess, the path. Our little white plastic lever thing that the cassette pushes, and it pushes the cassette out as well. Might as well lube that rusty old bit of metal up. So that this thing can... Oops, it's locked in now. Oh, I've broken it. We moved something here. Yeah, that's it. That's that white plastic bit on the back is basically the cassette pushes that. Still feels a bit iffy at that end. I might put a little bit more grease on it. Not that it matters in this case. If you're fixing it for someone, you always had to make sure these bits were working well, or they wouldn't push the tape out properly. But in this situation, I don't think they care too much. And the other thing I can see here is there's something that moves here. Or is that part of the... That's part of the button, I think. But that bit there should probably have a bit of lube on it. This bit at some point must move, because it's got a slot there to move. And there's a bit more of it further along. So there's quite a few slidey bits and pieces in these things that move back and forth. This sort of area you can't really hurt with a bit of grease, because there's no clutches or anything. That it's just a bunch of mechanical levers that slide around. Obviously you still don't want to go too silly with the grease, but in this case I'll probably put a fair bit in, and there probably should be a bit between these two. Yeah, there should be a bit between the levers. Since they're so dry in this case, it's not what you'd normally need to touch, because they're normally fine if they're in constant use. Oh, it feels a lot better, not so crunchy. It's still a little bit crunchy, but nothing like it was. So I should be able to reassemble this if I can get everything in place. Now we've got a, looks like a lever thing there, it's got to mesh with something. This bit's got to go on the little pin, and something's stopping me from going back into place. All these short wires don't help. What have we got going on here? It really, what's this metal bit sticking up? There's something sticking up under there, this pin thing, so I'm not sure what that does. But no doubt it's got to go in a specific spot. Okay, we've got that in place. And I've got to try and work out how this bit, I don't even know, oh that's the head cut out, so it obviously does go that way. And then yeah, these bits, where do they go? Oh yeah, I've got you. Oh, where does that piece go? Up under, I guess. They kind of pivot on these little bits that stick up. But they won't fit, there we go. Yeah, such a crazy design, it just pivots up and down. Quite clever in a way, but the flimsiest looking thing you've seen. Well, depends on what you've seen, I guess, but now why does this pin, this bit should sit down, sit up. Oh, there's like a, what the friggin'. We've got a pin here, oh yeah, that must sit under. We must be in the down position currently, I think. Jesus, now it's all falling to bits again. This is where you need 3 hands to try and put everything back together. I've got a spring here somewhere that's got to go back onto something. I've got no idea what at the moment. Oh, this little bugger's come off too, hasn't it? Where did that go? That went into this silver bit, I think. Jesus. This is where I really hate these things. And there's a risk all the wires are going to break or something. I don't know what's going on here, but everything's falling to bits. And we've got some silver thing sticking up. I think that lever goes under the switch probably. Except now this front bit isn't going in because it's got to go under that piece. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Yes, just 20 things all catching on each other. Yeah, that's roughly it. Except for this, of course the wires are way too short. Okay, so that's this metal thing sticking up being an absolute pain is... see, I told you there's 20 things. 20 things is an understatement how many things I've got to jiggle. So this piece here has to go, well, back that way a bit into this little pin sticking down. And while I'm doing that, I've somehow got to try and get this switch. What is moving there? That switch moves that way, so why isn't this lever further that way? That's going in, but of course we still haven't got any of this in place because, you know, that's what our other 20 hands are needed for. Ah, look at this rotten. Yeah, I knew it was better not to pull these apart if you could help it. If you didn't have to. Oh, I'm going to have to edit some swearing out of this one, I think. It still doesn't seem to want to go. Oh, now something's happening. Yeah, I've got to pull it straighten that, I think, to get it. Oh, God, what a nightmare. And now everything on this piece has come off again. Now, where did that spring go? The spring went through there, so what on earth did it attach to? Must have gone inside there somewhere. Oh, God. Yeah, whoever designs these things, designed to be done in the factory once and that's it, I think. This is why I generally stayed away from these things, because it's too hard to learn them all. I think we need to remove the switch because it's just another thing that's catching on everything. Yeah, that's stopping stuff going. Go away. Stopping stuff going down. But I can't get the mech back into the sort of loaded position, which means this bit can't go in because there's a pin here sticking out. It went in there somewhere. Did it go? Ah, and there. That's where it went, little bastard. So I think that can go in afterwards, as long as I know. Yeah, that went on this little arm that sticks out. Oh, that's... It still has to go through the hole, I think. What a design. Wow, they really went to town on this one. Yeah, that needs to come across. Again, 20 different things. They really are a poor design, these earlier ones. So I've got the spring on there, just to add more tension to make this thing even more difficult to put back together, of course. Okay, we're almost there, I think. Sort of. I've got to get this thing on the pin, which it doesn't want to. There we go. And if I'm going to drop this crap back in place, but what there's definitely something wrong with this switch in the position of the other bit, I think, because it's too far back this way, it seems, and you just cannot get it to stay in there. Oh, we have now. Belt's come off, probably got grease all over it. I think we've almost got this rotten little thing back together. Is that it? Let's get the screws in it and hope to hell that it's right. Yeah, this has got to be one of the worst cassette mechanisms ever built, I think. None of them were particularly easy. Well, the later ones weren't too bad, but this earlier era, not the best, because they hadn't worked out how to make them simply. Yeah, it's actually gone up and stayed up just. Yeah, that's terrible. Now I've got to put that switch back on. Yeah, I can't even see it. There it is. And we've probably had some wires fall off by now from all the fiddling around. I can't imagine the motor's going to be much good in this thing either. That switch should be sitting above here. So is that it? I think that's the mech basically back together. And I'm going to try and run this thing, I think, in pieces, because I'm not sure I'm even going to bother trying to put it back together. It's such a munted mess of wires and garbage. Try and get things roughly. Look at it, just terrible. Not made to be worked on at all. Oh man, this has got to be one of the worst cassette players in history, I think. So if we unscrew this little circuit board here, there's nothing to worry about. Get these wires off the base. Let's just take the other control off, as annoying as it is on you. I shouldn't have put that nut back on. At least it's loose now. And then we've already got this chassis ready for the scrap metal bin. Get rid of that. Now we've got to put this plug back into the control. And if I can stop everything from shorting on everything, get all the hardware out from under it, and we'll just see what this thing does. Oh, we've got to put the capstans aren't going to be too happy without their bracket back on them, I don't think. But at least we should be able to sit this thing back together, maybe with the tuner bit underneath it, and try and get this thing as if it was in the case.